Welcome to chemistry. This is Mrs. Whitney's class 2013-2014, and this is your first podcast. Now, you might be asking yourself, why should I study chemistry? When am I going to use it? Well, there's several reasons to study chemistry. First of all, it explains much about our world. It explains the process of cooking and baking, how laundry detergent works, and why we see colors and fireworks, among many other things. It also increases our ability to solve problems. It's important no matter what field you choose. You're going to solve problems in any job. It may not be a science problem, but you're going to need the logic to solve a problem. And it's fun and really not as difficult as some may think. You're going to have a good time in here. There's going to be some hard times, some difficult times, but you're also going to find that it's fun. Now, how to pass chemistry. Number one, most important with me, is to have a good attitude. Think of this class as an opportunity rather than a chore. Come to class regularly. My most successful students are the students that come to class every single day, regardless of ability. So you must regularly attend class, and that applies to all classes. Work through all of the problems that are assigned. I don't assign anything extra. I assign problems that I think are worthwhile. So work through all the problems. You will do all of your problems in class. So ask questions when the subject becomes difficult. Now, the labs are there to help you to understand the material. So make the most of the labs. Relate them directly to the problems and the notes that you have been taking in the podcasts. Now, there are several required materials for this class. Number one is a spiral notebook to take notes. Now, that spiral notebook can be any size. The one that you see on the screen here is 120 pages, but you could have something smaller. You could have something larger. You could have a spiral notebook that's divided into sections if you wish. The second requirement is a calculator. Most of your math classes require a graphing calculator, so whatever calculator you are using for your math class will work in your chemistry class. And then last but not least, you need goggles for lab. You are given a pair of goggles as a freshman. Those goggles will work for this class. If for some reason you have lost those goggles, goggles can be purchased in the main office. So those are the required materials for the class. Now, what does a typical week look in this class? Typically on Monday and Tuesday, you will be working on problems throughout the class period. So you'll need your calculator, your problem set, and most of the problem sets you will work directly on the pages that you're given. On Wednesday then, usually there's a quiz. The quizzes are cumulative, so they start out small over brand new material and they get larger and larger until they end up being like a little mini test. And then we start the next unit and the process starts all over again. So the first quiz you have over a particular unit might only be 5 minutes. The last quiz that you have may end up being, the whole entire class period. And then we also use Wednesday to prep for lab. There are 2 labs each week, one on Thursday and one on Friday, and we'll prep for both of those on Wednesday by taking a look at the procedure and also by setting the lab up in the lab notebook that you will be given. So you're going to be given a composition notebook for lab. Throughout the week then, your only homework will consist of watching several 5-minute videos and taking notes. So at home on your iPod or on your computer or your iPhone or some of the other smartphones, you will watch approximately 5 minutes, most of the little podcasts. You'll watch one of those just about every night. And there are many more of them at the start of the course and fewer of them towards the end of the course. So it's going to feel like the first couple weeks like you're watching them constantly because we're trying to get the basic information down. Now, a couple comments from me. High achievement always takes place in the framework of high expectations. My expectations are very, very high, but they are also very reasonable. I expect you to come into this classroom each day and work for the entire time period. So from the beginning of the class until the very end, there's no sitting around chit-chatting with friends. We get started once that first bell rings and we end as that last bell rings. So we work bell to bell. My classroom rules are pretty simple. We treat everyone in the classroom respectfully. So you treat me that way, and then you will get the same treatment from me. Okay, so this concludes your first podcast.